Hello everybody, it's Andrew here. Today we're going to be talking about a plethora of severe storms that are going to be happening this week into next week. Today we start off with an enhanced risk of severe weather from central Nebraska near the North Platte area, Grand Island area, down all the way to almost Oklahoma City. Now the further south you go, the more conditional the risk is. I would say points here, the risk is a lot more conditional. I'd say the risk is a lot more conditional from places like in here. I think it's very certain you'll get storms in northern Kansas and Nebraska that move into Iowa. A few to potentially several tornadoes, including a couple to a few that could be strong today. The strong tornado threat SPC-wise exists from Lincoln, Nebraska, over to south central Nebraska, through Wichita, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, up through Edmond, Oklahoma. Wind, there's a 30% chance of wind wherever the line segment forms on the cold front when it unzips tonight. Then we have a large SIG region for large hail with a 30 SIG as well. Tomorrow, I will be chasing somewhere across the Illinois, Wisconsin area. It's probably going to be somewhere. There's a couple targets. One is like in here. Another is like down here, and another is toward the warm front. It's really going to depend where I target. Currently, there's a 5% tornado chance from Milwaukee to Chicago, just east of Peoria. And there, if you want to see populated cities, there you go. There's a large 15 wind risk as well, stretching from northwest Tennessee, northeast Arkansas, all the way up through southeast Wisconsin. And then there's a 15 hail as well. Day 3, we could have a pretty interesting system on our hands. We could have scattered severe weather across Texas, and then isolated stuff across the mid-Atlantic, Appalachian Mountain area. Sig hail region, or not sig, significant severe weather region across Texas there. SBC mentions potential for large hail damaging wind gusts and a few tornadoes that are expected. I expect this day to go enhanced at some point if the NAM solution pans out. In addition to a moderately unstable air mass, our jet region of 50 to 70 knots across with mid-level jet energy will create strong deep air shear across the warm sector, making conditions ripe for a few tornadoes and large hail. Hailstones greater than 2 inches will be possible across the Texas Panhandle due to the combination where instability and shear is forecast to be maxed. In addition, a 50 to 60 knot low-level jet is forecast with 0 to 3 kilometer velocity values to near 400 meters per second by early evening, being ideal for tornadoes. A strong tornado cannot be ruled out in this environment. So they're saying a strong tornado cannot be ruled out in that general environment. Day 4, I thought this day might go 30%. There's a very good possibility it goes day 3 enhanced. It could be another very significant day from portions of central Kansas, maybe into Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana, all the way into Texas, Oklahoma. Day 5, there's no severe weather currently expected, but I do expect an area to be outlined on the day 3 and day 4 outlooks, or maybe not day 4, but this day's just uncertain. Day 6, there's another 15%, pretty much almost in the exact same spot as day 4, so yeah. Here's kind of a look at what the HRF is showing. We're going to go to 24-hour Helicity tracks, and we're just going to look at them. So for today, we have models that are still showing southeast Nebraska to be the sweet spot, with another sweet spot there in Kansas, and then just overall severe potential from Oklahoma all the way up through kind of these areas here. We go to the 4-hour side of things. Good see updraft Helicity track start. It looks like the main area, though, is going to be along the surface low in Wisconsin and in eastern Illinois up through this area. And there's a lot of areas on day 2. Now, let's briefly look through the HRRR for tonight. It shows a couple supercells forming along the surface low in Kansas. I expect a few down the dry line as well. The supercells that form in Kansas off the HRRR, these will easily be capable of producing strong tornadoes, very large hail, and damaging wind gusts potentially. As that moves along, we get dry line storms to initiate. Some of these could produce strong tornadoes given the environment. This is a very favorable photograph. The cab is a bit strong, but we've seen environments like this produce tornadoes before, so we'll have to wait and see. And then we can see morning convection for the day. And then we get a few supercells to fire across portions of Illinois. And this brings it into my area where the environment is very favorable for tornadoes. This run is a lot better if you're a chaser across the Midwest. And we can go to the Midwest sector and look at that. But if you're a storm chaser, you want this run to pan out for Illinois. You get morning convection from the previous day's MCS, but it isn't very strong, and you don't really get much more until you get later in the afternoon, and you get some more intense storms to actually fire off. This is around 23Z. We can see the environment is very favorable for tornadoes. I think we could see a westward shift in the SPC's outlook if this solution does happen. If we look at a solution like the ARW, shows a pretty intense supercell in central Indiana. It does show stuff back by the cold front, and the environment's not terrible. FE3's had stuff there as well. Now let's look at the GFS pretty quickly. We'll look at the kind of 500 millibar pattern for the next few days. At what's sparking off the risk for severe weather. Today, the best energy is going to exist in here where we could see severe weather. There's a conditional risk further south, but it's really uncertain. As we move along here, Saturday's risk is going to exist across Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Missouri, Arkansas. Maybe a couple storms in Oklahoma, but the forcing is just a little bit removed. Sunday could be pretty significant across portions of the Texas Panhandle, southeast Colorado, southwest Kansas, Oklahoma Panhandle, and a New Mexico area as that trough digs in. But Monday's the day that I'm really watching. It looks like you're going to have a pretty significant trough that ejects across kind of this general area, bringing in a fleet of severe storm potential. And then after that, it ejects into the Ohio Valley, bringing them some severe potential. After that, we have another system to look out for your Wednesday time period. And then that moves east and creates some severe potential as well further out into the time. We're going to stop this at Wednesday here. This is going to be up into the Midwest here. You're going to have severe potential with a low pressure. Widespread 60 dew points up there. If we do take a forecast sounding, we can see that it looks pretty solid for damaging wind gusts, maybe a tornado as well. Now, over for Monday across Kansas, it looks like you're going to have a pretty significant day if the GFS were to be correct. These profiles very much favor that. Oklahoma doesn't look too bad either. A little bit further north along the warm front, Kansas looks even better. Here is day 6. We have a 15% risk for this day as well. And looks like we get some sort of severe potential across Oklahoma. GFS isn't as apparent with this, maybe as some other models are. I don't know. Doesn't look too great based off the GFS, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now briefly we can look at the NAM over the next few days. It already has the low pressure up into northeast Kansas on day, and holy sweet Jesus, the NAM already has extremely favorable soundings across the warm sector. That would be a very, very, very significant day across Kansas. Maybe Oklahoma too. Yeah, Oklahoma very much in the picture. But this would be a significant day for Kansas City area, Topeka area, Wichita area, and we'll just look in kind of locally in Kansas and kind of just pick out the general areas this would be significant for. Salina, Hutchinson, Wichita, Manhattan, Topeka, Leavenworth, Kansas City, Olathe. So kind of anywhere really in here, this is going to be a significant day for you. I mean, let's take a sounding right there. I mean, you have already 4,000 Cape and it's 18Z. So, and that's 1 p.m. So I think you're going to have significant severe potential. We'll just take a box sounding across this general region. And that is a nasty box sounding for 18Z. You already have the cap eroded, so you're going to get storms. It's probably 21Z or so. That's not a good sign. 500 millibar wise, let's look at that. Let's go to national and then look at 500 millibar. And that is just, oh my god, that is perfect trough placement. And that's a very strong trough too. If this happens, this would be a high-end severe weather day for Kansas, Missouri, northern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas. And that's gonna do it for this one. Please stay safe, y'all. If you are in the risk area, make sure that you prepare. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, as some of these events could be more overnight. Make sure you also have a weather radio, first aid kit, and kind of some backup kits in case your area gets hit by a tornado and you don't have power. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.